Hello, everyone. It's Bryant with I Have Comic Issues, and tonight on Comic Channel Origins, I have the honor and privilege of interviewing Mad Spidey from Australia. He is here for Comic Channel Origins, and let me go ahead and bring him in for this interview on Comic Channel Origins. Here we go.
It's not live, but I'll wave hello anyway to anybody who's watching.
Yes, this is a pre-recorded interview. 16-hour time difference. We have to do what we can to make things work. So we had to schedule it on a holiday for Spidey, and just happens to be my regular day off time. So that could work, but they come few and far between. So here we are. Thank you for being here. Can I call you Simon, or do you want me to call you Spidey?
Either or. Some people call me Simon. Some people call me Spidey. There is an odd other couple of people in the thing that call me something else, but yeah, either or is fine. Most people just call me Spidey.
Let's keep it family friendly for YouTube.
Oh yeah, not that. Yeah, we won't talk about Cliff. Hi Cliff, I know you'll be watching.
Okay. Well, thank you for being here, Spidey.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you're welcome. This is a little bit different than most of the comic book interview shows, because this one we don't actually show any comic books. So it's a little bit different. I want to do something that stood out a little bit in the comic book community. So, and I like to figure out how things work also. So that was the whole idea. I want to learn how other people basically YouTube. Yeah. And this would be a great time to have that clip where Remy's saying, "Do you even YouTube?" That'd be a great time for this, for right then.
Exactly.
But so my first question for you is, what inspired you to start a comic book YouTube channel? And what, if you can remember, I know you said you're a little bit older, but if you can remember, what was your very first video?
And it's funny, sort of, yeah. This is obviously the first question. I've had this question asked a couple of times before, and it was, I basically say two words: peer pressure.
Okay.
Which is, it's basically, it started like I was around YouTube for a little bit before I actually started a channel. It pretty much started actually with, if anybody knows, the channel Simple Simon, another fellow Australian, another Simon.
Right.
Him and I used to be friends when we were kids.
Okay.
So there's about 4 years difference, 3 or 4 years difference, but we used to sort of hang around with the same groups and stuff like that because we lived in the same suburb growing up and things like that. So, like as you do, you lose touch with friends and things like that over the years. You get new groups and so on and so forth over the years.
Right.
And I hadn't seen him in literally about 20 years or something along that sort of lines. And I happened to bump into him in his place of work, which he no longer works at, but his place of work at the time. I was buying some, I don't know, I can't remember what it was. Might have been DVDs or Blu-rays or something like that, because that's one of the things that I do collect. And I'm like, hang on, I know you. And he's like, hang on, I know you. And it's sort of, we rekindled the friendship from there. And I basically said to him, I said, look, one night after work, come over. I said, look, it was literally at the point where I was culling my collection to purely only Marvel comic stuff. Okay. So I had a heap of DC and independent and just random books and like graphic novels and a few other bits and pieces. And I said to him, I said, look, I know I found out like through that conversation that he had a channel, and I'm like, I've only really just glimpsed at comic book, sort of channels and things like that on YouTube. I wasn't really in depth in it until I sort of started a channel or just before. So I basically, so I gave him all the stuff, and he's like, oh, check out my channel and that. And I made a few appearances. He's like, he came over to my house. He's like, you got a lot of shit. He goes, you should do a YouTube channel. I'm like, anybody who actually has known me from before the YouTube days, I was always one to shy away from the camera. I hated photos. I hated videos. I was too whether it be a self-conscious thing or a shy thing or something like that, I was like, I don't want a bar of it, even if it's just, we're at a party, let's get a group photo. I would be the one hiding behind the back, like doing bunny ears or sticking my finger up or doing something like that behind the rest of the group.
Right.
And he's like, you should do it. You got a lot of stuff. You could do a lot of content with this. You'd probably do all right. And I'm like, no, I'm not. That's not me. I'm not doing it. I can't get in front of a camera and talk. And so, he eventually convinced me to. He used to do a show called it was like Collectors Club or Collectors, something like that. Like you basically had 3 or 4 people on a panel, generally 4 people, and he would have you would show like 5 different collectibles and anything but comic books. So because everybody shows comics on comic book YouTube, so it's like, show art or statues or toys or something else. And so he convinced me after quite a few tries to get me on. And so I did a few appearances on his thing, and then he was talking to another comic book YouTuber who sadly doesn't really do much content now, but was very prevalent in the community back in the day. It was called Comic Book NYC.
Okay.
And he used to do an original art hour. So basically what he would do is he would have one collector on and he would show like 20, almost like only slabs, but for art.
Okay.
So you'd show 20 to 30 pieces of your original art if you had that many, and tell stories how you got it, so on and so forth. And they both, Simon reached out to him and said, you need to get Spidey on your channel. So I did that as well. And then between the pair of them, peer pressuring me is like, do a channel. I literally, I started doing a channel, and that first video is rough. I don't know whether you're going to allow swearing on this and cursing, but yeah, it is pretty effing rough. It was just one of those, because a lot of people who start off, they do an intro. Right. That's like, this is my channel, this is what I'm going to talk about, blah, 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 blah. But I was told, and I still do it to this day, but not to the great extent, because obviously I'm a little bit self-conscious about it, but I and a lot. So I was like, this is my channel. This is what I want to show. And like, I just kept doing it. And I would rewatch that every now and again and just go, that is so cringeworthy. It is ridiculous. But that's pretty much, like how I started. Like, as I said, I jokingly say about the peer pressure thing, but like I've made so many friends, so many people that I'd call brothers and sisters, family, like people that I genuinely care about. Even though I've only met most of the Aussie crew, I've never met any of the international crew in person.
Right.
One day, hopefully, but yeah, these are these sort of people that I'd love to meet in real person and just give them a hug and, shake hands or whatever it happens to be. And, like the circle would be complete basically. But yeah, a lot of these people I talk to, like people come and go on YouTube. But a lot of people I talk to either daily or at least once a week and things like that. And there's quite a few of them that I would call family.
You should set up a fund for Heroes Con 2030.
Yeah, well, that's the ongoing joke.
Well, no, that's why I set it off 4 years out, so you can say.
Yeah, and it's literally like people were like, he's been around a while as well. Southern Comic Geek, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Every time he jumps into one of my live streams, or if I'm on a live stream, he'll say Spidey Heroes Con, and he'll keep changing the year. It'll either go up or it'll go down. Sometimes it's like 2459, or it might be like 2027, but that's the ongoing joke. But Mark from Legion of Comics, big shout out to Mark. He has been trying to get me to Heroes for the last at least 4 years minimum.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it'll happen one day. I've just got to get off my ass and stop spending money randomly and start saving a few dollars here or there. So
why don't you ask Dave if he needs a personal assistant? And I'm talking about Dave from Still Only 35 Cents.
There's been jokes about that too. Oh, we'll smuggle you in his luggage and like all that sort of stuff. And that's the thing. It's for me. Heroes Con. I've never been overseas. I've never been out of the country. You know, I'm encroaching on, you know, the big 5-0 mark, a couple of years, but getting close to it. I've never been out of the country, unfortunately. I've gotten to the point now where I'm like, I really need to do something before I get, like, it just gets way too late. We should have said that 20 years ago, but yeah, I always say, look, I'll get there eventually. The problem is it's not the airfares. So a lot of people are saying, oh, the airfares are so expensive. I have help with the airfares. I can't dive into that, unfortunately, but I do have help.
Right.
The accommodation and the food, probably not. That's probably like $1,000. Like, you know, we'll just give it a round number. It's the spending money. Like, and I'm not being silly. Like, I keep saying, I need $100,000 or I need $50,000 and all that sort of stuff. But if I am going to go, I'm going to go big or go home, because it may be a one-time only thing.
Right.
I cannot go to a Mecca for comic books and not try and capitalize on what I can get at the time. So yeah, that's my problem.
You're planning on getting the AF-15 and the ASM-1?
Yeah, AF-15 would let. If I was going to go there, that'd be the only thing I'd be buying, with the way that thing is priced, even for a low grade collector like me. So ASM 1 and 3 definitely on the list. AF-15 would be a pipe dream unless I can, literally take $50,000 with me. But I got to remember that $50,000 US is only about 30 Australian. So, sorry, other way around. Yeah. It's
apparently, if you watch DJ Link's short, an AF-15 3.0 was going for around 9,000 the other.
Yeah, I saw that.
Apparently that got corrected.
That can't be right. That can't be right.
Yeah, that got corrected or something like that. He did a follow-up video saying the CG's or cover price corrected their information or something. So, but he was like,
it gave me hope, though. It really did.
I can imagine. So how long have you been on YouTube, or do you have an idea? Or?
So I was trying to remember, actually. So actual channel-wise, I think it's mid-April. So actually, so it should be next week or two. It's either 5 years or 6 years. I can't remember. I think it might be 5 as an actual channel. So probably 5 as a channel and about 6 as like just as I said, those few random sort of appearances. And I got stuck into the YouTube auction scene as well, as only purely as a buyer, not as a seller, because anybody knows me. I only buy comics. I don't sell. But yeah, that was a treacherous and dangerous path. That was during early COVID time. And anyway, we'll leave it at that. That's, if anybody knows the auction scene, whether it be Whatnot, eBay, YouTube, whatever, you can go crazy and you can lose yourself in that world. So,
do y'all have Whatnot over there yet in Australia?
Only just, from what I know. I haven't really looked. I've only just been able to actually like look at the site, because usually you put it on your phone or your laptop and it says not available in your region. But I think it was mid last year. I think you could actually finally get it over here. But I've not downloaded that app, and I will not download that app.
I actually, earlier today, my wife has a Whatnot account for reselling clothing and stuff like that. And I was on there for 3.5 hours selling women's clothing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, a 50-year-old guy selling women's clothing, it's kind of funny. Yeah. And I also, if I get a new buyer, I tell them dad jokes.
Oh, well, there you go. So added bonus at the end.
Yeah. You want to hear my favorite dad joke? And you'll appreciate it. I promise you'll appreciate it. What do you call a security guard at Samsung?
Is it going to be like Dad's Sung or something like that? Or
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, God.
The Samsung Galaxy.
Very, 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 very on point with the Marvel guy in me. And all right. We'll leave that one alone.
All right. So next question I got for you, was there a specific moment or video where you felt like your channel kind of took off? And I
Yeah, so
guess the
this
caveat with that, what
Mm.
is, I guess, your best performing type of content on your channel? Could you do multiple?
I do a lot of different what I call series. So
Yeah.
like, I obviously there's I'm not like a lot of people where, they have constant boxes turning up and things like that, and they've got plenty of content piling up behind them.
Yeah,
I
like
don't get a
Rob
lot.
or
Oh, yeah, like Rob and Mark from Legend of Comics, stuff like that. They'll literally have a stack of boxes and things like that. I might be lucky and get like 2 or 3 in a week, or I might get one a month, or I might get one every, couple of months sort of thing. It just depends on what happens, what I stumble across. But yeah, because I do like I do obviously that mail call when I eventually get something. I do an art series where I show off my original art. I do a statue collection series. I do a collectible series, which is shopping with Spidey. I have a multitude of series. And it's funny, like actually thinking about this when you talk about like, brass tacks, you talk about numbers. Like I have never actually had a viral video. Like I know, like some people say, oh, I've had like one video that's gone absolutely nuts, got me several thousand views or tens of thousands of views or something like that. I have never actually experienced that. My viral for me is getting more than 100 views.
okay.
Which like I've over the years I've come to terms with that, and I didn't coin the phrase. I will share that because I know he's going to be on the show in the next week or two. But John's Comics with Friends. Obviously, he's gotten a lot bigger now, but in the early days, he coined the phrase Snail channel.
Okay.
So where you literally just a couple of subs here, a couple of subs there, just over time. Mine is exactly the same. Like I have seen people literally within a year gotten 1,000 subs or more, and like not doing it through the paid schemes
Right.
or buying subs or views or anything like that, just doing it with natural progression. Whereas mine took me like just over 4 years to actually hit the 1,000 subs. So it's I've never I have a couple of videos. I've never had a video crack 1,000 views ever.
Okay.
I think the most my live stream has gotten. Live streams obviously a different sort of beast.
Right.
Like the most views on a live stream I've had maybe 600 or 700, but the most for a pre-recorded is just shy of 1,000 views. But that's been once again over time.
Yeah.
And that was involving another bigger channel at the time, which is probably why I got those sort of views.
Okay.
So yeah, I've never had that like classic viral video moment. So, which like it'd be nice if it happened, but if it doesn't happen, I'm fine doing what I'm doing. So,
yeah, I would definitely, when it comes to on subscriber count, I would definitely consider myself also a Snail channel. Because I'm sitting around right now, or as of recording this, I'm sitting at 852 subscribers, and I think I've been on for like 4 years or 3 or 4 years now. So I mean, it's been a bit, but it's been slow. I mean, I haven't been the most consistent, and it's just here in the last probably 6 months, or especially since I've been starting this series of live streams and occasionally some few other videos that my subscriber count has kind of taken off.
Yeah.
So for a period of time there, I was trying to do I took on the challenge of doing a daily comic book news video. And it was basically like a 15-minute video, but it was taking about 3 hours or so to prep and produce the video. So I burned out on that one after about 2 months.
Yeah,
but
I've seen people try the video a day thing. Some people can do it, some people can't. It sort of depends on life sort of things. And a lot of the guys that do end up doing, I do know one channel that did it for a year. They were like because of their situation, they're at home all the time.
Oh, okay.
So, and don't have a fit, you know, like a job income coming in. It was literally just whatever, you know, revenue or government assistance or whatever they had. But yeah, obviously they had that situation to do, whether it's the standard normal working person who doesn't work from home or, you know, has to leave home for a job, generally can't do that sort of commitment.
Yeah, I was trying to do it on top of a 50-hour-a-week job where I commute at least 45 minutes each way to work, and trying to do that on top of that. So I did do 2 months, 7 days a week straight, which I thought that was pretty good. But
that's a pretty impressive thing, yeah, regardless of what anybody sort of thinks. Because a lot of people that were doing the like day-to-day stuff were doing like 2-3 minute videos.
Oh,
so
no,
and nothing edited or anything like that. It was literally just turn on the camera. I've got a comic book. See you later. You know, like it was like that sort of stuff, not full edited, lengthy type stuff. So,
well, now I was doing like the top 5 news stories of the day that were comic book and pop culture related, and then I was doing the cover price daily shakers and doing the top 10 of those in there also. And I did that for like 2 months straight.
Yeah, no, you could have that. that's way too much for me.
Yeah, I did. Then I was like, did like an audit of my channel, and it's basically, and they're like, yeah, that's not helping your channel at all. Don't even. I mean, that's not your channel. You're not the news guy. There are other people that can do that. I'm like, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like to the question, like trying to find, you know, like, well, that actually should be the next question. But yeah, that niche sort of side of things as well.
Yeah.
Is trying to find your pocket if you can. But obviously, we'll get to that question when we get to that question.
So, what do you like better? I mean, on your pre-recorded. I mean, I guess we'll stay here a little bit on specific. Has your channel kind of taken off or from where it is because of what you do on the pre-recorded side, or is it because of the live streams?
It's definitely the live stream. Like I would not be monetized, fully monetized without the live stream. Live streams definitely help. Like if you don't get viral videos that get thousands and thousands of views and great retention, then you will not get the 4,000 hours to get fully monetized. Like it's still quite hard to get that, like, you know, that new 500 sub monetization thing where you can do membership and get super chats and things like that. Still 3,000 hours, which is still a great feat to try and get. But live streams are definitely the thing that help you get the watch hours for that side of things. So I had my watch hours because you usually get one or the other.
Right.
So you either hit 1,000 and struggling for watch hours, or you have like a bucket load of watch hours, but you're struggling to get that 1,000 subs. I'm
like neck and neck at it right now for the full monetization. Like I said, I was 852 on the sub side. I'm at almost 3,200 as of right now on the hours.
Yeah.
So, and I can tell you this, the only and it's not because of these interviews that have got me to where I am on the watch hour time. I had a couple of videos that did pop off in the last like 6 months where they got like 8,000 views and stuff. And it was because like, we talked about Whatnot a few minutes ago. My wife found a seller on Whatnot that was selling from a storage unit. And she bought me, the video is literally, what is 35.5 pounds and cost $87. And it was a whole bunch of comic book. I mean, it was a 35-pound box of comic books that my wife got for me off of Whatnot. And it was literally an unboxing of it. And it was a 40-minute video. I mean, because a crap load of comic books. I mean, it was over close to 300 books. But I mean, so I literally opened it up and unboxed it, and that's recorded the whole video. And it was a mystery basically box, and it took off.
Oh yeah, and a lot of people, and I know it's not as big as what it used to be, but there was a stage quite a few years ago that mystery box videos did like extremely well. Didn't matter if you had 100 sub channel or 100,000 sub channel, if you did a mystery box video, you would get lots of views. And when we talked about, I've never really had a viral video, my 2 top videos that have almost been at 1,000 views have both been mystery box videos.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but yours is literally mystery box because you had no idea what the hell was in there. It was literally just a box.
Right.
Okay, it's got comics in it. What's in it? Sort of thing. So
yeah. So I mean that one did well for me. And one thing else I've seen on YouTube that seems to work well for people are the trailer reviews. Have you noticed that? Like,
you also got to be very careful. You got to know how to do it with the copyright claims and all that sort of stuff. And because it's so easy to get a strike with that stuff. I know there is ways of doing it, but I think your channel has actually got to be based around that to actually get away with it.
Oh, okay.
But there is a lot of loopholes and stuff you got to try and find because I think it's any more than 7 or 8 seconds or something like that of any kind of music or video that's obviously a licensed product, you can get stung for it and you have to take it down. So,
well, I think another part of it is that we're we're side by side equal parts of this particular video. But I think if you did the trailer and the reaction video to the trailer, like if you had the trailer video less than 25% of your screen or more, and you're big and it's really small, so it's not a whole lot of detail that people can see, you're the main part of what they can see. And then if you talk over it and give your response and stuff like that, you're making it transformative or your own content. So I think that's one of the ways people do it or get around it.
That's the loopholes.
Yeah, you got to make it transformative, and it can't be the main thing.
Yeah, the main focus on it. Yeah.
So, granted, I haven't quite figured out how to do that correctly yet. Like, I'm talking about the actual. I did try to do it the other day for the. I was going to do both of the Supergirl trailers, but I hadn't even watched the first trailer before the second trailer come out. So I was going to watch both of them and then say which one I thought was a better trailer. And then when I tried to record it, it didn't record right, so I had to scrap it. So
yeah, I just leave that alone. I have a movie series, but that's literally a spawn off of my collectible series, where I pick a physical media sort of movie or series or something like that, and then do like a review and a few other little bits and pieces of that sort of style thing. But it's not actually me showing any clips or music or anything like that. It's literally me just talking about the actual physical media and the movie or the series itself. So yeah, I wouldn't want to. I've had a few copyright claims over the years. Most of them have not been my fault. But it's a very you got to be very careful with a lot of that sort of stuff. But yeah, if people can make it work, all the power to them.
Yeah. So going on into the next question that we alluded to a few minutes ago is, what would you say your niche is in the comic book community?
So I think this is a very pointed question because nobody really has a niche, because most people that have done stuff it's already been done before.
Right.
Nobody is really doing like real original content. Maybe the sayings or the one-liners or the jokes or the way it's shaped or formatted might be slightly different, but the concept of it has come from somebody else.
Right.
And I was actually talking about this with some other comic book YouTubers backstage actually this morning, and they're saying, "Oh, your niche is Spidey's Outback," and I'm like, "Well, it's not really, because a lot of people do hangout shows. Some people have slight formats to their hangout shows. Some people it's just a free for all, like mine is.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously that's the most interaction I get with the community is obviously with Outback. People show statues, people show art, people show comics, people show movies, people show other collectible type stuff. So I'm not really doing anything that hasn't been done to death before. Outback maybe just a slightly different spin out because I'm sort of, you know, basing it like we're in Australia sort of thing. Not that the only thing that I'm changing is just the background or a picture of an Australian animal or a landmark or something like that. But yeah, there's no real sort of original or niche sort of stuff. But I live in my own little pocket, you know, which is, you know, my own little pocket is maybe my niche, but yeah, it's very hard to try and coin something as actual niche or original in this sort of small space.
To follow up on the whole Outback aspect or the Spidey's Outback, and I hope this doesn't get you in trouble with your fellow countrymen and all that. But when you pick the time for Spidey's Outback, did you focus it for an American-based audience, or was it for, because I mean, at 6 p.m. Central Time, other than I'm at work at that time, that's a great American time. But I'm pretty sure that Sunday afternoon or whatever time
Sunday morning for me,
Sunday morning for you is probably not the best time for your fellow countrymen to partake.
Yeah, and it's Spidey's Outback is an inherited show.
Okay.
So basically, when I first actually jumped onto the screen and things like that, there was a channel called White Shadow, or his name is Chip or Chip Getler.
I've heard of Chip. I've heard people say Chip Getler before.
Yeah. So Chip Getler, the White Shadow, he had a hangout that was called Banter.
Okay.
And it was basically, you know, like mine, just open invitation. Anybody could sort of jump on and things like that and just hang out, you know, basically talk shit and whatever you want to sort of talk about. And that was 9 p.m. Eastern when he was doing the show. And then you're probably going to hear some bird noises around. Hey, it's the Outback, you know, it's very on point.
And I guess those aren't necessarily exotic birds where you're at, are they?
No, it was just a cockatoo. You know, it wasn't anything.
Yeah, we had those flying around here. So
yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, Chip did it for a few years, and then some circumstances happened. Like he was the one that actually, I don't know whether you remember the acetate gate story with the Ultimate Fallout 4 at C2E2, was it?
Yeah, the Blackgate or something? Or...
Yeah.
Black Flag,
and Crane, and Black Flag. Yeah.
Yes.
So he was the one that actually broke the story.
Okay.
But he didn't like do it as in like drama, this or that. He was just in the line and he just said, "This is what happened. This is what he saw." And the feedback was both encouraging, but a lot of hate from it as well. And towards him because of, and it's like all he did was just tell the truth, tell what happened. But they're like, you shouldn't be saying this. Anyway, we won't get into that side of things, but it basically made him quit YouTube for a little while. He came back, but he mainly did like video game stuff because that was another one of his loves. But yeah, he is one of the biggest kind-hearted soul you will ever meet if you ever get a chance. But he's not really involved in the community much anymore, but he basically, he gave it up. And then Remy Q Studios, very good friend of mine, somebody I can call brother in this community, he took the reins and it became Remy's place. Okay. And he sort of tried to keep it around that 9 p.m. Eastern time, but then it sort of chipped and changed around a little bit like that. And then his work sort of schedule changed and life changed and things like that. And he's like, I can't, because Rob Fatstacks and myself had admin rights to his channel. Towards the end of Remy's place, like Rob and myself were running more shows than what Remy was because he just didn't have time. He was working or had family stuff and things like that. So he just couldn't do it anymore. And then he finally said, like, there was a full panel of us and they're all like, okay, so who's going to take on the Saturday night hangout? And we're all, and you know, and they're all like, oh, Spidey can do it. Spidey can do it. I'm like, why am I doing it? Like there are bigger channels. Like at that time, I was only like a 300 sub or 400 sub channel. I'm like, why would people watch, you know, such a tiny little channel that nobody really knows about besides our small group of people? And they're like, you need the watch hours, you need the subs, it'd be good for your channel. You can do it, you can commit to it and stuff like that. And then it sort of evolved from there. And then I ended up fixating on, for some reason, 7 p.m. Eastern. But I change it depending on the daylight savings times.
Okay.
So when we're both on daylight savings time, it starts at 11 a.m. for me, Sunday morning. When you guys will lose daylight savings first, it'll go to 10 a.m. And then as of this weekend, we lost daylight savings, has now gone to 9 a.m. Sunday. So
Okay.
it does hurt a little bit because of, I have mentioned that I want to start going back to like the local small one-day conventions and fairs and things like that. And they're always on a Sunday over here.
Okay.
So it's very hard for me to run Outback and do that at the same time. But I either have to not do it, which I've been able to literally keep up a streak ever since I started. I've had a few times where I've got somebody else to run it for the first couple of hours.
Right.
But I haven't missed a show. Like, it's always been on, and I think I might be coming up on 3 years doing Outback now. So it's yeah, I want to try and keep that streak as much as I can, and not, knock on wood, it's I can keep it going. But there are plenty of people in the community that can say, look, can you just run the show for the first couple of hours, or can you just run the show in general? It's something I need to do, or I want to go to a con, or whatever it happens to be. So
Right.
yeah, so it's basically, like a hand-me-down from a hand-me-down from a hand-me-down. And it's worked well for my channel. Like, I'm not saying I get like 100 people in the chat. I might get, at most 20 to 30 people, but it's a good number to sort of, manage. You're not like, oh crap, I missed like half of the chat or something like that. Occasionally you'll get more, especially if you do like which I've done a couple, like giveaway shows and things like that. Or occasionally somebody will jump on and be like, nothing's happening in the chat, let's give something away. I'm like, oh okay, well, yeah, fine. I'll bring up a wheel and throw in a hashtag, and occasionally that will happen. So
Okay.
But
So
yeah, as I said, an inherited show, but yeah, a very welcome inheritance.
and I would think with your Outback show, your concurrent viewership, or I guess, stays pretty high. Like, people stay for a long duration, don't they, to watch?
Yeah, retention is generally, like, I would say you'd get at least 8 to 10 people, which doesn't sound like much for a live stream, but if you're running 4, 5, 6, sometimes I've ran it like for 11 or 12 hours.
Yeah.
Having a retention of 8 to 10 people for nearly the whole time is actually really good, because most people jump in and out for a couple of minutes here, maybe stay for an hour, things like that. So you get good retention out of that kind of live stream.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably easily get 50 hours out of a regular Saturday night moderate live stream, right?
Yeah, even if you're only watching for 3 or 4 hours. Sorry, if you're only like going for 3 or 4 hours, you can get a decent, or as you said, like a moderate amount of hours out of that. And thus that's the only reason why I am monetized, is because of Outback. Is I would have never have got the hours out of my pre-recorded stuff.
Yeah. Like you said, it probably took you it took you a lot longer to get your subscriber count than it did for your than your watch time.
Yeah, because as soon as I did Outback, literally about a year in, or a year and a half in, I was almost at that 4,000 hours already. When I was literally like, maybe at 1,500 or maybe 2,000 at absolute most. So it did add quite a lot.
Have you ever done anything much with shorts? Like YouTube shorts?
I tried shorts, and this is the thing. I had a piece of advice given to me that when I did my statue collection videos, to do a short as part of that, literally just showing it and then say, look, put a link to the full video and stuff like that. I did that for a little while, but I was actually finding it was, and this is going to sound weird, but it actually was more effort setting up the short than it was actually doing the pre-recorded video.
Right.
And I didn't see any great advantage to it. So I couldn't see any really translation of like, I gained like 50 subs out of the short, to come to the thing, because as a general rule, people who watch shorts don't watch long form and vice versa. So it's a good promotion tool, but you got to be careful because it can actually be a detriment to your channel as well.
You have StreamYard, correct?
Yes.
That's the one you?
Yeah, the expensive one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they're all expensive. I mean, I'm still rocking the free one. That's why you see the
restream thing on the top.
That thing. I'm pointing to the opposite side, but pointing in that direction. That's why the watermark's there. But I know with some of the paid features, you can get it to reformat, and you can do vertical and horizontal.
Yeah, I have not done that. That looks annoying to me. I'm like, because I have seen, and of course, council's picking up the bins.
Yeah,
Monday morning. Yeah, I have seen like what happens in the background, and it's literally you see two screens on your admin screen, and it's two chats running, and I'm like, no, that's just too much. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
I mean, I think I thought with the StreamYard, it would actually reformat all the video to where it's in a vertical, like all the video feeds that come in from the different participants.
I think you get both. You get both chats all into one chat, but there is two screens.
Yeah.
For the thing, like whatever your predominant one is, I think you can like almost like sort of minimalize it a little bit to the side if you don't like the vertical enough. But to me, it would be just like that's enough. That's just way too much for me. I'll stick to just the landscape stuff.
Well, where I was going, or I guess my tangent that I was about to go on to was like, have you thought about releasing some type of short just prior to you doing Spidey's Outback? Like, say 30 minutes before Spidey's Outback, you release a short. And because shorts technically seem to have like a quick, they get thrown out there a lot to the YouTube audience. So, but if your short's getting put out there a lot for people to see, or they're testing it, but then you go live with Outback, beside your icon is going to show live. So maybe people will be interested and click on it and say, what the hell is going on the Outback, or going on, what's Spidey doing that's live? And then they click in,
like a promo tool sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just something that like popped into my head, like an idea.
No, to be perfectly honest, there's nothing that I've ever really sort of thought about, because like you know, like watching, obviously, I don't try and dwell on the analytics and the algorithms and all. I know that's another further question further on, but I don't like, I look at it, but I don't really analyze it and things like that, because I know where my channel sits, and you know, if I get a tiny bit of growth and things like that, I'm happy. But in saying that sort of thing, like, I've never been good at self-promotion. I see people like, you know, they have a shorts and reels, and it'll be on multiple platforms and links to this and links to that, and I don't, whether I'm just too lazy or computer ignorant or whatever, I've just never been good at that sort of style of things. I get a lot of feedback, like, you know, people will be like, you know, but I want to try and help you help yourself to help your channel. And I'm like, I can't do that. It's probably just a defeatist attitude, but it's just, I just like, yeah, if I can't do something straight away on a computer, I give up. Like, I don't have, as I said, like, I'm getting too old for this shit where I'm just like, I can't learn too much. Yes, I have learned some stuff over time, which, once again, another question we'll get onto later. But yeah, most of the time I'm just like, it's a hangout. Most people are just talking crap. You know, we will bring up comics, you know, show some stuff, talk about pop culture and movies and things like that. But then it goes off on tangents, and people talk about random ass stuff that's got nothing to do with pop culture whatsoever. And that's why I have a few different little clips where it's like, if somebody starts talking about wrestling, there is a wrestling button that I don't want to hear it. There is a sports one, and a few other bits and pieces. So, but yeah, I can see that being a great promo tool for that. But it's just nothing that I've actually ever thought of doing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it would actually
Do
work. I mean, but it's just like logically speaking, you would think that it might work. Don't know if theoretically it would actually work, but it's just a thought. I know that, like you said, you cover different stuff on the Outback. I mean, and especially when you're on for 3 to 6 hours, you're going to cover a lot of ground.
Yeah.
And I know typically YouTube, I mean, this is part of like the algorithm question or something in there, but since YouTube's owned by Google, and Google's a search engine, and YouTube is technically the second largest search engine in the world. If you need to figure out how to do something, you can watch a YouTube video about it, search for it, watch a YouTube video about it. And one of the great ways that you can search and find stuff is because there's chapters and timestamps in videos and things like that. And I know trying to do timestamps for a 6-hour live stream would be freaking insane. I mean, you don't have the time to do it. But here's a quick hack for you that I actually have a video that I did on my channel for this. But have you seen in the YouTube studio on the laptop or on the computer, there's the Ask Studio feature?
I might have glazed over it.
Okay.
I know there is an automatic timestamp section.
Yeah. It'll eventually do that, but there's in the top right corner of your screen, there's a little like diamond looking icon, and that's the Ask Studio thing. You can click on that and then or copy the link to your live stream once it's processed and just paste that into the chat of Ask Studio and say, give me the timestamps. And it'll do that.
Yeah, I did not even know that. No.
Because as long as the video is processed and has done the transcript of it, because YouTube's already done all the heavy lifting, it can go through and see when the topics have changed throughout your live stream. And when you've covered different things, then you just paste that into your description of the live stream.
That would be a lot of timestamps because it can change very, very quickly.
Well, yeah, no, you're right. It would be. But you know what? You don't have to do the work. The computer has done it for you. So it can do all the timestamps for your video in less than 30 seconds.
In saying that as well, I also don't want to give fuel to the fire where people like to clip things, the funny things that happen in live streams. So it might be like, oh, this is when this happened, okay, and then they can go exactly. Oh, now let's clip them, and yeah, there are a few clips of me with a few people in their little selection of videos on StreamYard, especially. And like a lot of other people, funny things have happened and people just clip stuff and just play it for comedic purposes. But yeah, I don't need any more fuel to the fire. Oh yeah,
like I don't know if you get to watch the Comic Vets Wednesday night show ever.
I'm generally at work, but I know he has a couple of clips. Yeah,
well, he has a clip in there from when DVH was on Only Slabs. And showing the Power Girl JSA classified cover, and he's like, "She looks smart. You should get Chris to show you the clip that he plays."
And it's funny because me, obviously being a big Only Slabs fan and supporting Rob and Chris for as many years as I have, I do actually remember that moment.
Yeah, well, he's clipped it, and now it's one that he plays in his Show Us What You Got.
Yeah, so if anybody shows a booby book, he'll play that clip basically.
Yeah, yeah, it's quite funny.
That makes sense.
So you're saying you're saying that the Outback's probably your best performing content on your channel.
Yeah, definitely something that gets me obviously the most watch hours, the most interaction. Like I always try and, respond to every single comment that's done on pre-recorded videos. Occasionally you will miss one, obviously, because of those infamous hidden messages that at least everybody's, sort of had at least once in their sort of YouTube career. But there is ways, obviously, to find that. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, but you can find them. But yeah, it's definitely the most well-performing and consistent Because a lot of people, anybody who gives any kind of advice, they always say the word consistency. So that's the other reason why I've wanted to try and get keep Outback as most consistent as possible, because people are going to know, okay, at 7 p.m. Eastern, give or take a minute or two or whatever like that, it's going to be on. So,
right.
Obviously my pre-recorded stuff is so random during the week. I do not keep any kind of schedule. Like, I try and at least do one minimum pre-recorded video a week. If I had the time, the patience, and mental health, and whatever else you want to call it, I would try and do 3 a week. Try and do like a Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, because I've seen once again that should at least try and leave some sort of gap in between pre-recorded videos, because people might see the new one, but then miss if you've done the one a day before, even hours before, they might miss the first one altogether.
Right.
So you might get traction with one video, but not traction with the other video that you did first. So at least a day in between is generally a good rule of thumb. Whether it works or not for everybody, it is what it is. But so yeah, like in a perfect world, 2 to 3 videos a week for me would be great. But as I said, like, I've always had this rule with myself that if I'm not in the right mindset to do a pre-recorded video, because me, it's not over, like, we'll take out recent times, but for me, basically a pre-recorded video is all done in one shot. Yeah. So I will come home from work, have a bit of a rest, have dinner, so on and so forth, and I'll say, now look, what am I going to do tonight? I might do an art one or a statue one, or I do have some packages here, I'll do a mail call. And I will literally video it, put it together, and release it that night. So all in one shot. And if anybody knows me, I've said it earlier, I am not a computer guy. My editing skills is literally bare none. And once again, sort of chipping into some of the other questions on this list, but I pretty much just use like one program, just drag and drop stuff, shove it on a timeline, and away it goes.
Okay.
That's pretty much my sort of thing. So, and that's probably the other reason why, like, I'd love, like, I've been using the same background song ever since I started. I forgot how to put music on there, and I know it's got to be non-copyright stuff, and so, like, realistically, if I had the time and the patience and everything, and I was fairly computer illiterate, or literate, should I say, I would probably make a more polished thing, but I don't necessarily have that kind of, and that comes back to the mindset thing. Like, I've gone through, life happens.
Right.
If I come home stressed, angry, depressed, sad, whatever, if I'm in not some kind of middle ground, or at least in a good mood, I won't release anything, because it transpires on the video.
Right.
The last thing people want to see is you go, this is a comic book, this is what I bought today. Nobody wants to see that. Somebody wants to say, like, I've never been a really upbeat person, but when you see me on a video, it's me.
Right.
Yes, I put a little bit of extra oomph to the speaking and to the demeanor and things like that. So people aren't I'm not just talking normally, and things like that. I am not putting on a persona, but just putting, as I said, a little bit of extra oomph into it, a bit more excitement into it to make it more enjoyable. And that's pretty much what I do.
Yeah, I know I've listened to podcasts about YouTube and stuff like that, and they basically said that basically if you're going to record a video, you really got to amp it to like 130 to get to 100.
Yeah.
So to have 100 come across, you got to go above, because it's going to come across as right here. And so if you're right here, it's going to come across as you're right down there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I always, as I said, like, I try and make myself a little bit more exuberant, but I don't go to the fact where it's not me anymore.
Right.
So a lot of people put on personas, or put on like an act or something like that. Most people that I have seen generally just do what I do. They just put a little bit of extra exuberance into their what they're talking about. Maybe it's just pure excitement or happiness. But I have seen a lot of people that it's literally like they are an absolute arsehole on screen, but they're the nicest person in real life, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of that sort of stuff. And I always said, like, I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to be true to myself. And that's the way I want to do it. So,
yeah.
And some people relate to that. Some people want more of a real thing than a, you know, like almost like an actor playing a part on a screen.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there are definitely those content creators that you can tell are characters of what, or you, let me rephrase that. You really hope they're characters and not that way in real life.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a better way of putting it. Right? Just really hope they're not that big of an asshole in real life.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a few of them in my time, that's for sure.
Yeah. So how do you balance, I think I know the answer to this question, but how do you balance what you love to talk about with what the algorithm wants?
Yeah, see, once again, like, if I cared about, like, I do care a little bit about the algorithm, but nobody can really, like, everybody says, oh, you do this and it's good for the algorithm. Nobody really knows exactly what to do. Like, you can get it to a certain extent, and obviously you see people like, you know, Comic Tropes, Comic Pop, Gem Mint, Comic Tom, like the big boys of our niche community have made it work. Right. But realistically, if anybody really knew it, like, I think the only person on YouTube, or the only people on YouTube that really know how the algorithm works, is people like Mr. Beast and the ones that have got millions of subscribers.
Right.
Yeah, as I said, like, I have a brief look at the numbers. I just try and maintain that, you know, I'm doing enough hours per month, because once you're monetized, it's a 12 monthly cycle. So as long as in that 12 monthly cycle, I've got enough hours to maintain roughly what you need, which I've actually been disproved a little bit lately as well. But yeah, as long as I can sort of maintain a decent amount of hours for that 12-month sort of thing. So I average it out to, I think, 330 odd hours per month of watch time over the 12-month period. That I'm still staying around that sort of 4,000 hours, because I thought you had to stay at 4,000 hours every single, you know, like 12-month cycle, whereas you don't.
Okay, I was going to ask you that.
I'm still not. This is what I've been told, and this is literally only in recent times, because I was worried about it, because I had some obviously life stuff happen, especially December and January, and I did hardly any content at all. Outback kept going, but I had hardly any other content, and I noticed my hours just dropped dramatically.
Right.
Not by like 1,000 hours or something, but by a couple of hundred. Went under that 4,000 threshold, and it's, as long as you don't leave and don't do any content for an extended period of time, or if you just, you know, sort of just quit social media or something like that, if it's something to that extreme, you'll still keep your monetization.
Okay.
But I still don't like to play devil's advocate. I'd be like, I'll keep it. Another one.
I actually saw that one in the reflection in your window. Like, oh, okay.
So yeah, I don't like to play devil's advocate. So I just try and keep as much of that sort of around that sort of high 3,000 to 4,000 hours per month, just in case that is actual crap.
Right.
So, but apart from that, you know, I'm not like, some people say to me, okay, do what's most current. I'm like, I am never ever going to be that person that's like, okay, the new Spider-Man movie is coming out. Let's talk about Spider-Man new movie. Let's talk about the trailer. Let's talk about, you know, the spec books that have influenced the movie and things. I will never, ever do that. It may happen coincidentally, but I will never do it on purpose, where I'm like, I'm not a spec guy. I'm not a what's happening now. I just literally just talk about what I want to talk about, and, you know, don't really bother about the algorithm. Like, I've tried use these hashtags, use these tags, use these titles, use this in your thumbnail and stuff. For some reason, it never worked for me. It's just never. If I would have had that, as we talked about earlier, that viral moment, where that title would have given me 1,000 views or 10,000 views or whatever. It has never ever worked for me. So I just stick with what I know and just keep it at that. So,
all right. Well, have there been, other than the copyright strikes that you talked about earlier?
Claims are better than strikes. You do not want to strike. Trust me.
Right. Are there any other mistakes that you made early on that you wish that somebody had warned you about?
See, that's about the only question that you sent me pre-doing this that I was really trying to think of, because most of the things that I learned from other people's mistakes.
Right. Yeah.
So the most infamous one you can do is, obviously, if you do run a live stream, do not put the link in the chat. Anybody who's been around a while has known that you'll get crazy people, trolls, idiots, perverts, whatever you can get. Oh, I can get into this thing, and you will see some stuff you do not want to see, or they will be racist or anything like that. You do not want that stuff part of your channel. It'll be synonymous with your channel. So I learned that from other people. The only rule I have on, once again, with Outback is if you're in the backstage, I don't care if you turn your camera off once you jump on the screen, but if you're in the backstage and I cannot see your face or something that I recognize as a part of you, that I will not let you on screen.
Okay.
Because of other people's mistakes. The other thing is, obviously, if I do not know who the hell you are, if somebody can't vouch for you, if I don't know you, then generally I won't let you on the screen either. Otherwise, anybody's allowed on.
Right.
But apart from that, yeah, like the and thing that I mentioned very, very early, like I have learned to sort of curb that a little bit. Like I still do it, but I don't do it like every second or third word.
I was going to say, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, this what we call garbos, garbologists, the trash men are really screwing with my vibe right now.
Well, no, but I'm saying your train of thought or your stream of consciousness or what you're speaking, like you're doing really well. I mean,
yeah,
so
not doing the ums and ahs too much, sort of thing.
No.
But yeah, like yeah, if you watch any of my stuff, literally in the first 6 to 12 months, it's very, very cringeworthy. Like there's a lot of that sort of stuff. There's a lot of dead air. That's the other thing, sort of stuff that I learned, is that dead air is like loss of retention for people. So live streams, it happens, like you will go through points where there will be some dead air. There will be some, okay, you finish this topic and nobody can think of anything, and you will get those few seconds or maybe even a minute or two. But pre-recorded stuff, dead air, unless you're physically showing something and you don't need to say anything, is a killer for the watcher. So I did learn that early on as well. And that's why a lot of people are like, you talk too much in your videos. And I obviously coined the phrase, I waffle along a lot, which I do. Like if I tell a story, I generally will not necessarily go on a tangent or a few tangents, but I will tell a 1-minute story in 10 minutes. Because I over embellish, and that's something I inherited from the old man.
That's how you get watch hours.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, something that should be probably 2 minutes ends up being 20 minutes, and and you do get watch hours. You don't get the retention, but you do get some watch hours out of it if somebody does watch it all the way through. So
as I told Voggs earlier when I interviewed him, is like we were talking about making videos. I've started trying to make my videos, pre-recorded videos, where they're 15 to 18 minutes long, because my retention for a video is usually about 30%.
Yeah.
And so 30% of a 15 to 18 minute video is going to be between 5 and 6 minutes. Where if I can get 100 people to watch 5 to 6 minutes, that's a good bit of watch time for that video that I made. Whereas if I made a 5-minute to 8-minute video and I still want to get 30%, I did a lot of work for a lot less hours.
Yeah, that's not much at all. Yeah.
Right. So like make it a little bit longer, embellish a little bit, make the story a little bit more interesting, add some waffle in some details here or there, and you can get more watch time out of that pre-recorded video.
And that's the other thing that sort of I noticed that I tried to stay away from the curb, even though you quite often do fall into that sort of thing. Is I got told by a lot of YouTubers right at the start of my journey that you try and keep your pre-recorded videos between 10 to 15 minutes long, no shorter, no longer, because you either get good watch hours, but you got to keep the good retention. And any live stream you do, you try and cap it at the 1 hour mark. That was always some sort of unspoken golden rule that 10 to 15 and an hour were the two time frames you want to stick to. And then I'm like, well, hangout streams, you can't do an hour because you don't necessarily cover much. You might not even get more than 2 or 3 people in the first hour jump on the screen. And as you said, like if your attention is 30 to 40%, you do 3 or 4 minute videos, you're going to get like 20-second retention out of most of the people.
Yeah.
10 to 15. It's not to the point where people like this is way too long, but it's also not to the point where it's like, oh, doesn't he have anything else to show if it's too short sort of thing. So, but yeah, I've always stuck to like whatever's just worked for the content that I was doing. So I may occasionally do 5-6 minute videos. Quite often I do 20 to 30 minute pre-recorded videos. So It's sort of, as I said, it just depends on what the subject matter is. If I'm showing one comic book, it may, with my waffling and my intro and all that sort of stuff, it may be 5 to 6 minutes. But if I'm showing 2 or 3 comic books, it might end up being 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like if you find, and that's where like looking at the algorithm and that sort of stuff, you can watch. It will tell you, okay, this is the brackets where people most watch your thing. So you can actually pick times to release your videos, days to release your videos, if you want to go into that kind of depth. It works for some people. For me, I tried it for a little while and I saw a little bit of an increase, but not a significant enough to go, I must release a video on Wednesday nights at 9:30 at night because everybody waking up Wednesday morning in the US are going to watch it.
Right.
As I said, it worked for a little while where I'd get an extra view or an extra sub or a couple extra minutes of watch time, but it wasn't significant enough for me to say, this is my time slot. I'm going to release pre-recorded videos at this time. So yeah, as I said, not everything works for everybody. There is no golden rule.
Yeah. One thing I picked up from Alan, the comic collector geek. I don't know if you know who Alan is.
Yeah, I know Alan. Yeah.
He was like, or upload your video, but release it like 24 hours later from when you uploaded it to give YouTube time to figure out who to send it to.
Yeah, that is the other thing that I have changed a little bit. Obviously, it's a little bit harder, and once we'll get to this sort of question with one of the last ones. But at home, like I'm at the missus's place now, so my time is split between my house and her place. All my pre-recorded stuff is done at my house.
Right. And
I am literally hotspotting off a phone on my laptop.
Okay.
So there's no Wi-Fi, no constant internet connection. So it will, for a 10-minute video, it might take me 2 hours to upload it. And I've got to make sure that things aren't overheating and so on and so forth. So that's always a factor for me too, that if it takes so long, sometimes I'm just like, I just want to get it. And that's why I'm like, this is the video I'm doing tonight. I just want to get it done, get it out. If I can buy myself a couple extra hours to give YouTube time to promote it, then I will. But generally, I'm always thinking of the next one. I'm like, oh, if I have a good day, it's Monday, I've had a good day on Wednesday, I'll release another video. And I'm like, well, if I schedule it for 24 hours later, that means I've got to do Wednesdays at Thursday and so on and sort of so forth. So it's a bit of a weird sort of way of looking at it, but it is from what I've been told, it is a good thing. Give YouTube more time.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that always annoys me is, and I still don't know why it does it, I'll literally like release a video and literally within an hour or two, I'll look at my phone and go, recommended for you, Mad Spidey's Outback. Or like it recommends your own videos to yourself. And I'm like, this is dumb.
Well, you are the ideal audience. I mean, because
I know, but it's like, it's still dumb.
Yeah. I get that too. I'm like, really? I thought, I mean, if my view counts, I'm going to put it on TV and just keep it play.
Yeah. Exactly.
It doesn't. So. I don't know. So, okay, we've talked a little bit about processes and stuff like that. Do you come up with your titles before or your thumbnails before you make the video, or do you make the videos first and then come up with it?
Yeah, everything, thumbnails and titles and everything is all after recording. And I don't go to, like, I know this is the other sort of piece of advice that I've been sort of given in recent times. It was given to me a long time ago, but they're like, you know, try and do a clickbaity title, or try and do some sort of like, you know, put a question in the title. Did I really achieve this? Or did I do what? You know, and there was always the infamous question that if you ever do the old sort of like this on your thumbnail, that everybody will watch, because they're all like, oh, he's done something wrong, or he's shocked, or the, oh, you know, like that sort of face. I've tried that shit. It doesn't work for me. That's all bullshit. But yeah, because I just do series stuff, and yeah, that's probably my downfall, and that's probably why I don't get as many views, is because everything is okay. My artist series, my statue collection, my collectible series, my, you know, shopping with Spidey, or slab cracking with Spidey, or whatever it happens to be. Everything's got a title. Most of it's got episode numbers, which is sort of, I did that as more, and the reason why I do some of these video things is nostalgia for myself.
Right.
So it's like, oh shit, I forgot I had this, or did I really make this content creator or this comic book creator or whatever like that? And I'm like, it's nostalgia for me re-going, because a lot of this artwork, statues and stuff has not been unearthed for years. Like, it's literally been in storage, or it's been in art folders, or any of that sort of stuff.
It's your comic book content diary, basically, or journal.
Yeah, and that's literally what it has been. I've always coined my channel as a show and tell channel.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily an informative channel at all. I'm not a spec channel. I'm literally just a show and tell channel. And yes, I tell stories, especially with the art stuff. I'll always tell stories and things like that, but I've generally just been a show and tell channel. That's not for everybody. Some people like unboxing. Some people like people just showing stuff and just, you know, and things like that. And like, oh, I've never seen that before, but it's not everybody's favorite thing.
Okay. So, yeah, I need to watch some of your artist series videos to, because I got some artist proof that my wife got for me off of Whatnot that I need to figure out the best way to present them. Because I don't really
maybe not watch my artist series for that. Like, all my original art is all literally in storage, like proper art folders and stuff like that, and you don't see those in the actual video, because I'll literally pull them out, whether it be 1 or 10 pieces, and just show them holding on camera. But I can see where you're sort of going with that. But yeah, it's all like, okay, artist series episode 35, Arthur Adams. You know, it'll be, okay, I have one piece from this particular artist, and that's the theme of that series. The statue collection one, the same sort of thing. So it'll be like my statue collection, episode 452, and I'll put in like, you know, Spider-Man statue, or just Spider-Man, or something like that. But, okay, so they look like...
Is Black Lightning artist proofs from issue number 6?
So in other words, it's an artist has done the art digitally, and they've made like a 1-of-1 art print of it.
No, like these are actually like the proofs, like, or where they actually put the actual.
Okay, because it looks sort of too new for that sort of.
This is from the 90s.
Oh, okay. It actually looked a lot newer, and they look like sort of 2000s onwards.
No,
yeah, because I don't have much pages. I have
Yeah.
a couple, but yeah, they've got all the word bubbles have got all like the little stickies on them and things like that, and it's got to be very, very careful.
Oh yeah, these are I think these from Black Lightning Volume 2 or something from like
Okay.
the 80s or not early or late 80s, early 90s.
So they might actually be original pages and not artist proofs, because generally artist proofs are only if they're going to do, that's like the trial run before they do a run of a print.
Yeah, like these are like they did the watercolors and all that stuff, and like colored it like and yeah, it has notes on them and stuff like that written in the margins and stuff.
That's that's the other thing. Like and people have asked me, like, why don't you do an informative style? Like, because obviously I've been out of the original art game for a few years now because I can't afford to anymore, but I still know enough about the game and like the thing. And they're like, why don't you do like a art collector 101 type video series and stuff like that? And I've always thought about it, but I always need somebody to sort of bounce off. And sort of like, you know, Mr. Mike Beckerman was always my first choice, but I know he's sort of busy with his own stuff. But yeah, I sort of thought about it, but it's like I probably wouldn't get a massive amount of like content out of maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 live streams at the most. But yeah, it's something that's always sort of stuck in the back of my brain that maybe one day I might do it as like an informative thing for people who want to get into the game.
Southern Comic Geek could be another good choice.
Yeah, definitely.
Jason's big into.
Jason's nuts.
Yeah.
Like he has literally only been really collecting original art for about the last 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
But he has just gone like, it's like I have an unendless supply of money. I am just gonna like buy everything I see. So, but like he has done really well for himself. So, but
do you have back on the process and planning? Have you thought about using AI or anything like that to help you with anything?
I've had a few people once again say, you know, why don't you use AI, make them do all the work and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm a big advocate, especially being an original art collector, to not go down that track. I'm not saying it's anything bad about it. People can use it all they want. Doesn't worry me. I've tried. Yeah, I still haven't used it to this day. I've not even used ChatGPT once.
Okay.
So I have never used any AI on anything. If that makes me look like a dumber person because I can't type into ChatGPT what's the answer to this question, then so be it. I've always just tried to do it off my own research, my own bat. But if I don't know the answer to something, I don't know the answer to something. We're all, you know, human and stuff like that. But
right.
You know, I can see the advantages of it. But yeah, as I said, being an original art collector and collecting a lot of physical media, whether it be, you know, physical statues, physical DVDs, Blu-rays, movies, stuff like that, and obviously art and comics and things like that. I've wanted to stay in that world as long as I humanly can. So I just see it as a portrayal of the art form. But yeah, as I said, like there's nothing against it if people want to make their videos. Like I've seen people do a lot of stuff in AI, maybe just thumbnails or maybe just editing or doing shorts or whatever. It looks fantastic. All the power to them. Not my thing.
I was talking about more on the coming up, helping you with titles or descriptions, like wording and stuff like that, instead of like
I can say that I can definitely see the advantages of it. I haven't gone down that train, whether I do or not. Another time, another place, but it may eventually happen where I just get even lazier or stupider than I already am, and it might end up happening that way. But I can see it. But I have tried to, mainly with the mail calls, I've tried to do that slight clickbaity type title. I always put Mad Mail Call, put the date in as once again like a record sort of thing as well. But I've tried to put in, what did I pick up today? Or am I this close to finishing this run? Or put those sort of slightly clickbaity titles in more recent times. Right. Thanks to a few community members saying, why don't you try this for once and see how you go? So, and I can see it. I can see it. But my other series, it's like there's no need really. Like in certain ones, like I know with my artist series, I've had a few bad experiences. And I could probably I could see where it might have got more views from putting something negative in the title.
Right.
But I've never really wanted to go down that negative train either. I'd rather stay neutral or be positive than go negative.
Yeah. I'm going to jump down to question 9, and then we'll come back to 8 in just a second. What tools, gear, or apps have made the biggest difference in your growth? Because I'm also going to tie this into our planning and processing question that we just had. So what do you use to do your videos and stuff?
So originally, like a lot of people, just started on the phone, started on the iPhone. I was doing all my pre-recorded stuff on my phone, being an Apple, I just use iMovie. As I mentioned earlier, just the drag and drop onto the timeline type stuff. And then I realized that I was getting to the point where being involved in more live type stuff, more me going on interview shows or on Hangout live streams, stuff like that, the phone just was not cutting it. I didn't have, at the time, some certain stuff happened, and the missus basically cracked the shits around, and that's a good Australian term if you've never heard that before. Basically, she got angry with me that I was complaining about using my phone too much and certain things and draining battery and getting hot and all that sort of stuff. We literally went down to a shop and she ended up buying me a MacBook.
Okay.
Obviously on like a finance pay it sort of scheme, but yeah, she ended up buying me a MacBook. And so now between those two, I do the so I will always record my pre-recorded still with my phone, but then I will airdrop it to the laptop and then, you know, muck around with iMovie and things like that. And as I said, it's not really editing of any kind. I literally just drag my really quick rough intro onto the timeline, drag the video, put in a title and things like that. I may, if I like have a coughing fit or something, because generally whatever I record on that video, I just try and do it in a take, and then and then that's it. Even if I stumble my words or stuff up a little bit, I generally just still release it.
Yeah.
But I have like full coughing fits or somebody busts into the room and like, oh, I need you. Oh, crap, you're recording. That's when I'll like cut out that bit. That's about the only editing I'll actually do. I used to start off with the phone, being in one of those sort of ring lights with the phone holder right in the middle. And then I was getting too much light flare and things like that. And I know a lot of people talk about how lighting is very important. I've literally only just bought a second light about a month or two ago. I'm still trying to work it out because I always like that sort of being in the dark sort of background, and having sort of the lights sort of just shining on you and just having that sort of look than being in a big lit room sort of thing. So like a studio sort of style sort of thing. But I've always had problems with light flare, and obviously sometimes the sun gets, you know, if it's too early, the sun gets through the curtains and things like that. And I still have problems with light flare and refraction and things like that. So I bought an extra light and I've tried to sort of position them as Mr. Rob Fatstacks, big shout out. He said you need to fill the area, not point at the area. So if you point at the area, that's where you get the light flare and, you know, the reflections and things like that. Whereas you fill the area, you will actually get the better lighting that you need. So I'm still sort of working on that.
Yeah.
But at least I do have the two light sources now sort of set up in my room now where I do my pre-recorded videos. So it's pretty much, phone, laptop, the two light sources, and then I literally, once again, I only just bought one of those, like, not a gimbal, but one of those like selfie stick sort of things with an extendable thing and whatever.
Right.
If I'm doing like a shopping with Spidey or a con video. But yeah, that's about it. You seem to amass equipment with this thing. Like, yeah, I'd love to probably have a proper sit down studio where I could have like proper lights and like a microphone on a stand or on an arm or whatever. I just don't have that kind of room or that kind of facility to be able to do that. So I just work with what I can work with.
Okay, and iMovie is what you use to edit?
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
Yeah, what I classify as editing, yes.
Okay.
So a lot of people are like, use this one, and I'm like, I lose patience too quickly. As I said earlier, like I'm not the most computer, like I can use a computer, but I'm not a whiz bang at it or anything like that, as my old man would say. If I can't get something within a couple of minutes, if it doesn't work for me straight away, then I will just give up. Which is kind of weird because my thumbnails when I first started were YouTube generated.
Okay.
So YouTube would take a still shot of something from your video, and then I could roughly work out how to just put a crappy title in the middle of the screen, and that was my thumbnail. Until, once again, big shout out to Simple Simon. He cracked the shits with me and said, from now on, I'm doing all your thumbnails.
Okay.
So every time I would upload a video, he would get the notification bell, and literally within about 5 minutes, he would have generated a thumbnail for me. And then I had to go back in and then add his thumbnail to that particular video.
Right.
But it was about 12 months ago, 18 months ago. I can't remember how long I've actually been doing them myself properly. Mark from Legion of Comics actually showed me a free website called Pixlr. And it literally has like a YouTube thumbnail sort of section. And he backstage after a live stream or whatever, he's like, bring it up. So I bring it up. He goes, okay, put your photo in there and then click on that. And that adds the text and you can do this and you can do that. I still do it to a fairly basic sort of level, but it does work for me and I can do it. And I didn't lose patience with it. So,
yeah,
Mark
makes some pretty good thumbnails.
Yeah. And literally he's using the same program that I'm using. It's just that he takes a lot of things off the internet. So he'll take a picture of Godzilla and a picture of Avatar and a picture of this. He'll put it on and then he'll just move his text around accordingly and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whereas I generally like to take stills of what I'm actually doing. So me showing a package I'm about to open, or me showing the box of a statue I'm about to do, or the front of a shop I'm about to do a shopping with Spidey on. And then I'll just add a title to that particular picture. Well, and that seems to work okay for me. So,
what was the name of the website again?
Pixlr. So it's Pixlr.
Okay.
But you can do like it's got like pre-designed stuff. You can just input your own words into. You can do like TikTok and Facebook and Instagram stuff on there as well. But it's pretty much just a template sort of layout that you can just chuck your own stuff into. But if I can use it, anybody can use it.
All right. Have you ever used CapCut or Clipchamp?
I've been told about CapCut, but they're always like, oh, don't use the free version. You need the slightly, the smallest, I think the lowest level paid version or something or other. And I'm like, it interests me, but do I have the patience to sit down and actually work out whether I can do it or not? I almost need to be like a baby spoon-fed how to do stuff sometimes for me to actually get the motivation to try and do it. It's
pretty easy. I mean, CapCut's pretty, and even the free version is pretty good. I mean, so, and they have a thing with the free where you can get it to make the transcript of it, and then you can actually go in and edit the video by deleting text.
Okay. So if you want to release it as a short, but somebody starts swearing in the middle of it, you just get rid of the swearing or the cursing.
Yeah, or it can even show you if all your ums and ahs or stuff like that. Or say you had your extensive coughing fit, it's going to show you a big gap in the space, and you can just click on that and go delete, and it's gone.
Okay.
I mean, instead of you having to go cut here, then cut here.
Try to pinpoint it.
Yeah, I mean, it can do all that for you in there. But so, I mean, it's free to download if you want to check it out. Check it out, play around with it. But the thing I use that sometimes for is I'll drop my video into it and then tell it to transcribe it. And it does it all there within like 5 minutes or whatever, transcribe the entire video. And then I'll take that into chat or GPT or or Google's AI. I've been using Gemini more, which is Google's, because it kind of works with YouTube since it's all the same family. And I'll ask it to give me take this transcript of this video of everything I've talked about and give me the best titles that would be good for this video.
Yeah, suit that video. Okay.
Yeah. And give me the best description that would suit this video. So, I mean, it's something that I've been doing that helps me out and work, because I'm not the best writer, and that's or trying to come up with the best SEO friendly, clickable, like titles and all that. It's not just like, look at my good stuff. I mean, that's what I would come up with something. But it's like,
and that's the thing. They say, what is it? You always have to like try and focus on the 3 T's. So yeah, thumbnail, tags, and title.
Right. I mean,
the 3 T's.
It's basically, I mean, you can make a great video, but if your package for that video, which is your 3 T's, are crap, nobody's gonna watch your video. That was great.
Yeah.
Because they gotta like the picture to click on the picture to open up the video.
Yeah.
So, we're almost done here. I know kept you on for a while, but how do you engage with the community other than I'm pretty sure most of your community engagement happens on the Outback.
Yeah, probably the two. Yeah, with that one, the 2 main things, obviously. Yeah, Outback, obviously. If anybody does any kind of live stream of any kind, you have to interact with the chat. I do know a few infamous people, and I'm not pinpointing, I'm not poking sticks out or whatever like that, but my advice is, if any kind of live stream, you must interact with the chat, because without the chat, you ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
Because you're doing it regardless whether you're doing this as a video journal, whether you're doing it as show and tell, whether you're doing it as a pure community-based channel or anything like that. Any kind of live stream, you need interaction to make it run better, or more clicks, more views, if you want to look at it the algorithm side of things. So always interact with your chat. I sometimes get a little bit forgetful sometimes, or I'm just like, oh, I haven't looked at the chat in 2 minutes or whatever. I'm like, oh crap, and I'll make sure I go back and have a look at the chat and so on and so forth. Like I see some people literally will sit there and click on every single particular. This person said hello to this person in the chat, and this person said hello to this person. For me, you don't really need to do that,
right?
Because that's interaction with the chat and the chat alone. But yeah, obviously, if somebody asks a question, or if somebody's saying hello to you or your guest or whichever, yeah, sort of have that interaction. And I did notice Vogsy said it as well, and I said it earlier as well. Any pre-recorded stuff, try and interact with all the comments, because the more comments you get, the more interaction and replies you do. That is seen as interaction on that video, and that will also help YouTube promote the video as retention, as interaction, so on and so forth. So, even if it's just a cheers, thanks, appreciate it, thumbs up, heart, whatever it happens to be, all that sort of will get more promotion and more views on that particular video and things like that. So, yeah, community interaction is definitely, like, you'd be lying if you said, like, as I said, like, I'm doing this basically as a video journal, but primarily you want to become, at least noticed. I don't care about becoming a 1 million subscriber, everybody knowing who I am, stuff like that. Yeah, the money would be good. You could live off it and all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, like the small niche groups that we have, because even if there's thousands of comic book YouTubers, it's still a very tiny pond in a massive ocean. compared to other things.
Yeah.
So you'd be lying if you said you hated interaction on your videos or your live streams or anything like that, because otherwise, what are you here for?
Right.
But yeah, that's my 2 golden rules: is keep an eye on the chat, interact with the chat, and also obviously try and reply. Obviously, the bigger your channel is, you might get hundreds or thousands of messages and stuff like that, and it might take you days to reply to every single one of them. If you can't reply to all of them, I understand.
Right.
But yeah, try and, like, when you're small enough and you don't get, you get 5 comments or 10 or 20 comments, try and at least acknowledge or reply to each and every one of them, to show that, you do care that somebody is leaving and taking time out of their busy schedule to interact with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely the 2 main keys for me would be those 2 sort of things.
I would also say that if you're going to do a YouTube channel, you probably need to have an Instagram account to go with it, because that's a big
It almost goes sort of hand in hand these days.
Yeah, especially the direct message aspect of Instagram.
Yeah. I still don't know why they haven't done some sort of direct message thing with YouTube. Maybe because they don't want people like messaging Mr. Beast all the time or something. I don't know. But in saying that, I still think it would be a good idea. If you're a public subscriber, which means people you can see who they are, then you should, in theory, be able to do something through YouTube as well. But
yeah, I've heard that they had that before and they did away with it. I don't know. It was before my time. That
probably must have been before my time too, because I never saw anything of it. But
all right, last question I got for you: what advice would you give to someone starting a comic book YouTube channel today?
Don't do it. No, just joking. And I bet you that joke's already been done about 1 million times. Like, realistically, just be yourself. Yeah. Like, I think more people like watching a genuine, honest person than somebody, as I said earlier, somebody who, puts on a cape and a mask and puts on a persona or puts on a totally something that's out of character for that person. I think just be yourself, do what you want to do. Everybody at one stage is going to, whether it's at the start, at the end, in the middle, the ongoing journey, whatever it is, you get involved in the numbers and the algorithm and the the analytics and things like that. I look at it every day, but I don't analyze it. I just yep, still the same as it was yesterday, and that's all it is. Okay. I used to get really hung up on it. Like, especially in the early days, I'm like, oh no, I haven't had a sub in like a month, and I'd be worried. Like, I've always had that frame of mind where if I get 1 sub, in whatever amount of time, whether it be a week or a year or what, not a year, but as long as you're getting some kind of progression, even if it's very, very minute,
yeah,
it's progress. So some people will go viral, some people won't. There's a billion YouTube channels out there. Yeah, just try not to get hung up on the numbers too much. If you want to go that way, that's fine. Analyze it all you want. As I said, like, run your channel the way you want to do it. Don't be a sheep, be an individual.
Right.
Like, as I said once again earlier, everybody's doing something in comic book YouTube it's already been done before. Put your own spin on it all you like. It's been done before already. I can guarantee you that. But just do what you want to do. Show what you love. Edit, not edit. Do only pre-recorders. Do only lives. Whichever way you want to run your own channel, just do it yourself. And you don't have to be on camera. There was a lot of people started and have continued to be not on camera, just a voice. If you want to do an AI voice or a voice modulator or whatever, you don't have to. If you're shy about the camera, that's fine too. It doesn't have to be, you could be fully AI generated. It could be not. It could be just you, just talking shit, whatever you want to sort of thing. As I said, just do what you want to do. And if you take off, you take off. If you don't, be happy in what you do and be proud of what you do.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. As I said, like, I get disheartened, because that's I'm a classic overthinker. I'm a very self-conscious person. People to this day, and I said this earlier too, that I will run into somebody I haven't seen in 20, 30 years, and they're like, "You have a YouTube channel? Are you fucking serious?" You know, they're literally like that, because they're like, "You hate the camera. Why are you on YouTube?" And I'm like, "I've been doing it for like almost 5 years," and like they almost faint. I have a heart attack because they didn't think somebody like me would be able to do it. So if I can do it, and if I can come out of my shell, then literally anybody can do it. Like there are people on YouTube that have OCD, ADHD, have, you know, like serious medical issues. Some people can't talk, some people can't see, hear, whatever, like that. They make it work and they enjoy it. Bring them all on. Bring them all on. Oh, that's what I say. The more the merrier. But yeah, just do what you want to do.
Well, Spidey, thank you for being here and talking about YouTube and comic books with me. At this time, I would like you to tell everybody what you got coming up on Spidey's channel, or Mad Spidey's channel.
If you've been listening, I don't know yet. Like obviously, yeah, there's Outback every weekend. Well, I'm, you know, praying it continues to go every weekend, 7 p.m. Eastern American time, US Eastern time. Don't ask me about centrals and mountains and westerns and whatever. I just stick to that, and you guys can work it out for yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, during the week, yeah, pre-recorded. It's literally a lucky dip with me, as I'll mention a million times during this almost 2 hours. So it could be an artist series where I show my original art that I own. Could be my statue collection, which is, yeah, once again, all my statues. Could be a mail call if I do happen to occasionally get something in. Collectible series, which is stuff that's literally other stuff that I collect besides comic, statues, and art. I have my movie night with Spidey, where I pick a physical media movie or TV series, do like a review and do a little bit of trivia with it and things like that, sort of like, did you know this sort of thing. And then there's obviously shopping with Spideys, where I go to a shop or things like that. There's con videos occasionally. And there's one thing that I want to get back to that everybody knows me so much for, but I've only actually released 3 other videos, is I want to get back to doing my slab cracking with Spidey. That I do slab cracking in all weird and wacky ways. There is only 3 on my actual channel, even though I've done it a few more times. But yeah, I definitely want to get back to doing some of those. But yeah, weather permitting for those sort of videos. So, but yeah, I've got a million, and they're all in playlists, or nearly everything's in playlists. So if you love the artist series, literally just go to the playlist and go through it and pick and choose what you like.
All right. Well, very cool. I want to give a quick shout out to my channel sponsor, and that is Ron's Comic Closet. Right there, you got the QR code. If you use code I have issues at checkout, you'll get 20% off your first purchase. With Ron, they got new issues, back issues, and a lot of other great stuff. So go check that out when you get a chance. Also, I got some pre-recorded videos that I plan on getting out. Because this is a pre-recorded video, I don't know exactly what I'll be getting out when this is actually released, but I'll have something out for you. And I do know that the Sunday following this interview, I will be interviewing, we've already mentioned his name once in this interview, but I will be interviewing John's Comic with Friends on Comic Channel Origins. So please, yeah, you're figuring it out.
Yeah, I know, the mirror thing has screwed me again.
Yeah, so I'll be interviewing John's Comic with Friends on Comic Channel Origins, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, on the Sunday following this, which I think is April 25th or 28th, somewhere. That's Sunday. So please check that out. It's going to be a good time, a great interview. And with all that being said, that is everything for this video. Simon, thank you again for being here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your holiday and have fun back at work tomorrow. And thank you everybody for watching, and y'all have a good one. Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.